Welcome to Rise and Shine, your daily business tech boost with me, Charly Leetham. If you're a small business owner looking to simplify technology and get real, actionable advice from someone with 35 years of IT experience, you're in the right place. Every episode, I'll dive into tools and systems like email, CRM, marketing and tracking, and I'll break them down into bite-sized tips you can use straight away. Your time is valuable, so let's get straight to the point. It's time to work smarter, not harder. Rise and shine. Eat your dose of business tech inspiration with me, Charly Leetham. Episode number 640, and I'm continuing with my holiday theme. No, I don't have my Santa hat yet. I will eventually. We are going to be talking about your tech checks before you hit the holiday periods and then getting yourself ready so that you can just head off on leave. I want to start them now or head off on holidays or a break or to collapse in a corner and cry after the rush. I used to work in retail. I remember what it was like after Christmas Eve, and I'd get Christmas Day off and we'd be back at it again on Boxing Day. So I remember the days fondly and not so fondly. But anyway, let's talk about the things that we should be looking at. And I want to start them now. We'll be getting towards the end of November by the time this episode airs. So we're heading into December. I want to start them now so that by the time we hit the 25th of December, you guys are ready to have a break. You guys are ready to just kick back and not worry about the tech in your business. So the first thing you need to start thinking about doing is confirming that your critical systems are working. Set up some website uptime alerts. There's some free monitoring, and I'll do something about free monitoring in another episode. You can contact use someone like me, and we can also do monitoring for you as part of our support service. But it just lets you know that the website's gone down. It sends you an email and says your website's gone down. They're good. They're not gospel, and sometimes you get a note saying it's gone down and then it's back up again. It happens, but it's a really good thing to know whether your website's stable, whether it is actually up, whether it is actually working. So do have a look at getting some website uptime alerts put in place. Email, make sure your email is working. Make sure your inbound and outbound emails are working. Make sure your contact forms are working. I know I covered that not last episode, the episode before. Make sure that emails are going to the inboxes they should be. Make sure they're being received in those inboxes. Make sure copies are being saved in the database on your website if you can do that. I would highly recommend you do that, but if you can do that, make sure your automations are working. So if you're using Zapier or Make or Zoho Flow or whatever else you're using, make sure your automations are all working. They're all in place. Don't leave it till the day before you got to leave and work out that one of your automations has failed because the system updated a month ago and you didn't catch it. That happens, and it tends to happen around now because we tend to notice it as we're heading off on holidays because that stress factor. Payment systems, make sure that your payment systems are working. Make sure that you can take payments online. Run a small test transaction. Have a look at your payment provider and see if they can help you do test transactions. Set up some safety nets. Now, this is really important. Make sure that you've got your backups happening. Make sure that you take a copy and put it off-site. Now, I would recommend that if you're doing website backups, you shouldn't be storing your backups where you are storing your website. They need to be in another location, whether that's Google Drive, Dropbox, a proper backup service like Acronis, something like that. It's really worthwhile doing. But I would, just before you head out on holidays, take your latest backup, your latest full backup, drop it onto a data stick and put it somewhere so that if something goes wrong, if your server goes down, the hosting provider disappears over the holiday periods, at least you've got a backup of your site that you can get up and running fairly quickly. Your SSL certificates, not such an issue in these days if you're running WordPress and you're on a decent hosting provider. If you're not, you might want to consider this. Make sure you know when your SSL certificates expire, and particularly if you're paying for them, and make sure that they don't expire while you're on holidays. Because if your SSL certificate expires, your website will not display. They will get an error. They will get an error that you're not safe. And that has all sorts of flow back onto trust and reputation and all of that. If you're not sure what to do, please feel free to reach out. We can have a look at it. I offer a 30-minute free consultation for everyone, only one per person though, and I'm happy to look at these sorts of things for you. Access. Make sure that your team has the appropriate accesses. Especially if you are going to go offline for a couple of days, or you're going to be out of contact for a couple of days, make sure that people who need access have the accesses they need. Now, this comes back to having all your policies in place too, doesn't it? Knowing who needs access and when they need access, then you need to go through and confirm that that is exactly what's in place. Let's talk about communication and coverage. Email forwarding. Make sure client emails don't sit unattended. Now, by that, it might be, do you have an autoresponder set up? I have just done in the last week and a bit setting up autoresponders in Zoho, in Google, in Microsoft 365, how you can target particular things and send back responses saying, hey, we're on holidays or whatever it is. So make sure your client emails don't sit unattended. Do they need to go to a VA to be dealt with? Do they need to go to someone else to be dealt with? Can you set up an autoresponder that says when you're back, when you return, what the deal is? So you've got your email forwarders, you've got your autoresponders. If you've got a calendar running, make sure that people can't make appointments during the time your store is closed or your business is closed. I know that seems logical. It is one of the things that we all tend to forget. We all get so busy at this time of year that we forget that to take our bookings out and say, no, you can't book us during this time because we're not going to be here. So make sure that that's the case as well. And a lot of this is just things that I can think of that I hope prompt you to go and have a look. Money and automation. So make sure your invoicing or subscriptions tools will still send or collect payments. So Xero is really good for this. As much as I complain that Xero is getting really expensive, one of the main reasons I stick with it is because it's got that great automation where I have set it up so that an email is sent a day before an invoice is due for payment. Then an email is sent 7 days after it's due saying, hey, just reminding you this invoice needs paying. And then I've got a couple more that go out and they kind of escalate politely, but they escalate the longer the invoice has been outstanding to remind people to pay them. Make sure that your renewals, if you've got auto renews, make sure that that is actually in place. Make sure it is actually working. The last thing you want to do is to come back in after a holiday period, after you've taken a break, and find out that you were expecting to have $1,000 in subscriptions in the bank, but you've got nothing because the subscription broke, because the subscription tool broke, or because your processes broke. So make sure they're all in place, make sure they're working. I absolutely would, at this point in time, be scheduling my social media and my newsletter posts if you can do your social media for while you're away. Even if you can't get it scheduled now, start thinking about it, start getting those thoughts out, start getting your team, your social media team to work on those so that they're ready to go, so that when you walk out, when you shut the doors and you take that time out, you know that that's all going to happen and it's going to keep your marketing running while you're not around. I would also be checking our cloud storage, Google Drive, um, OneDrive, Zoho Work Drive. Make sure it's syncing. If you are syncing, make sure if you've got shared folders, that they're still being shared and that the content is being shared between them properly. Also check to see how much space you have. That said, I'd also be checking how much storage space you have left in your email accounts and cleaning those out and making sure that you've still got space for new emails that are coming in, new emails and attachments and all the things around that. Finally, and I've said this a couple of times already, make sure your website is loading. Do it as a visitor. Check it from your phone, check it from your computer, check it from your tablet. Make sure it is displaying, make sure it looks right. Send a test contact form from your forms, any forms you have on the website. Make sure they're working, make sure that they're coming into your inboxes, make sure that you're hitting, if you've got automation set, that the automations are working. Make sure that your autoresponder reply arrives. Make sure that you get that. So use an email that isn't related. Create yourself a throwaway Gmail account if you need. That way, when the rush is done, when the silly season is over, when it's time to step away and take a break and take a breather and refresh yourself for the new year, you can close your laptop. You can walk away and know that nothing is about, well, feel confident that nothing's about to break. The final thing I should add to that is maybe you want to consider getting a support team who is going to be working over that time and can just watch these things. They don't have to do anything. They can just be there. And if something goes wrong, they can step in, they can deal with it while you're off taking that break. Just a thought. Okay. Have I made you think about a few things here? Have I given you food for thought? Have I asked more questions than I've answered? I kind of hope I have, because that's great. It means I'm getting you thinking about these things. Come across to my community, askcharlyleetham.locals.com. Join the conversation there. You can ask me questions. You can ask me about the automations. You can ask me about the technical stuff. If I don't know, I will go and find out, or I will find someone who we can talk to find out and find out for you. What else? Oh, yeah. If this video was helpful, please give it a like and maybe share it with someone. And if you haven't done so already, please do subscribe to the channel and ring the notification bell so you find out when I drop more content. And guys, I'll be back the day after tomorrow. Bye. Hey there, thanks so much for tuning in to Rise and Shine, your daily business tech boost. I hope today's episode gave you some actionable insights that will make your business tech work smarter for you. If you found value, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with other small business owners who could use a daily boost. For more tips, tools, and resources, visit www.askcharlyleetham.com. Until next time, keep rising, keep shining, and let's make tech simple together.